Will you look back when you're old and gray and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. Hi, everybody.
A slight delay again. Today we're going to be talking about Hyperia, which was short notice because that dastardly John Burton wanted to be on TV the same time as me. So
Hey,
I decided I'd come in at 7:30 and just talk about him being on at 7. And luckily they put it on right at the start of the show, so I'm going to show you some footage from the one show in case you missed it. But before that, do we want to introduce our guest? Do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I'll let you do it.
Right, our first guest, who was going to come on this week anyway, you might know him as James. We know him as Dark Shadow. He has this week ridden the curse at Alta Manor for the 100th time. Probably went over that as well. And he's reached 100 subs. So it is James from Scare Seekers or Dark Shadow. How you doing?
Hello. The Wi-Fi went again, so I'm on phone again. Yay.
Hey, Fam Adventures. And I just want to say, Nox Travels, I don't always remember to comment, but watch his stuff from the Philippines. It's really good.
Yeah, we have watched them.
It's like
Nox Travels.
And he's quite. I know his wife's from Philippines, but if I was in some of the situations he's in where the communication, I'd be so worried on my own to film out and about. But he's quite good, and he's gone to a theme park. The scare one's really good. He went to a scare attraction, and it's nothing to do with Hyperia. But quickly, they had a thing over there where you can pay a bit more to vlog in the scare maze, and they should do that over here. It should be like, I want to let you film if you pay a bit more, but yeah, go and watch that out. Check that out, whatever.
We're okay, Fam Adventures. Hope you're well.
Do you want to introduce our second guest, or
you're so good at introducing them? Honestly, I get a bit tongue-tied. So.
And our second guests from Parts Fun Known, they're going to go to Hyperia tomorrow to Q, and they're also going to a special event I'm not going to tell you about unless they want to talk about it, but it's going to be on their channel soon. Is Coasting with the Joneses. How you doing?
Hey, hello.
So what I might do first for everyone at home, in case you did not see what happened on the one show a little while ago, I'm just going to play a little. It's not even all of it. It's just some highlights of the piece they did. So just enjoy this.
But now, hold on to your sofas, because our first film tonight is about to take you on a wild ride.
Yes, ahead of the opening of the UK's tallest and fastest roller coaster tomorrow, Richie Anderson was at the front of the queue to test it out.
I remember going on my first roller coaster when I was 6 years old. I've always wanted to design one, and to be here today, it's a dream come true.
32-year-old John Burton is a theme park designer who has worked on some of the UK's top attractions. Prepared.
Where do you get the biggest adrenaline rush? There's so many elements that create different sensations. Flipping up over here, flipping back onto the top of the track, outward banks, hanging you upside down for around 4 seconds. Oh, look at me.
I want to go on again now. I want to put Dominic on there at the end. There are a few other people like Jackson.
Big fan, Dominic.
And I just want to mention, I don't think it was in that clip, but James messaged me after it went on the show and said, was it get no more John? Should be the new meme. He was shouting, no more John, no more.
Did anyone think the beginning bit, though, sounded a bit like Goosebumps?
Oh, yeah, the Goosebumps theme, it definitely
I genuinely thought it was going do at any point.
So he's looking forward to his Platinum Pass. So I'll speak to Andy first because he's excited. He's going tomorrow. What did you think first watching that?
Yeah, it was awesome. Well, the second one, there was a bit of more information revealed about the station as well. There's not really been any kind of shots of the station at all. You got a little bit of kind of background of the station on the video, which was quite cool. But yeah, just the ride looks awesome, to be fair. I'm really looking forward to kind of hook for the ride tomorrow. Getting back at the door when I get to London, but there we go.
Are Laura and Darcy excited as well? Or?
Yeah. I think they're excited to go on it. I don't think they're excited about queuing.
No, I'm not excited about queuing.
I'm going to get into the chat in a second.
I've also got Fan Ventures saying they'll be vlogging on Saturday as well.
Yeah, we'll be checking that out.
So obviously, if you see them, say hello.
I just want to ask James the same question. What did you think after seeing that for the first? What were your thoughts on what Hyperia is going to be and to expect?
I think the ride experience is probably going to be really great. You know, I think really great ride experience, a lot of airtime and stuff. I think just the major problem still for me is just the theming just looks so basic. Like, oh, they're gone.
We'll get back this one.
Anyway, but it's just like the theming just like looks so basic, almost like they've used like the paint bucket tool on it instead of actually like properly adding the theming with the storyline and stuff. So yeah, and normally that's kind of like the bigger thing for me with the ride or attraction. It's more kind of like the theming, the immersion, but I'm sure the ride experience will be great. So yeah, that's my goals.
What were your first thoughts on
it? I thought exactly now that we've been on like Flamingo Land and been on Sick, that it kind of reminds me of Sick a little bit, but obviously it's a lot more heightened.
I was thinking it's not actually that much taller.
But I know people are going to diss me for that because I can't really say until I've actually been on it. But for me, that's what I feel like it's going to be now. It's just going to be a higher version of Sick. But
it didn't feel that much higher. Look, I mean, it's not really that much higher than Stealth. I'm not that excited about it. I don't want to shoot it down. But the first thing I said to you was, this is an amazing ride for Thorpe Park. And it is. But for like parks in general... But I think it's going to be great. I'm trying not to err on the side of, you know.
I think it'll be kind of a lot more scarier than anything I've been on before. Obviously, it's higher than Stealth. It's higher than the big one, but you're inverted, looking down to 200 foot.
I want to ask.
I've never been on anything like that before, so
yeah.
I'll ask James first. Will it be a UK number one?
Again, I feel like in a way I'm going to have to kind of like separate it between ride experience number one and kind of overall package number one in a way, because I feel like my number one at the moment is Nemesis Reborn, and that's it, not necessarily for the ride experience, it's more for the immersion, theming and stuff. Like really, to be honest, the ride experience is maybe a little bit better than the original, but pretty much the same. So I feel like with this, it could be number one in regards to like how it feels on ride, but I feel like unless they're going to add like a lot of different stuff, even more storyline, even more theming, it's probably never going to be number one overall. It's in a way kind of like I went to go and do Blackpool Pleasure Beach last weekend and do an Icon. Really good ride experience, but again, the theming I think is a little bit better than Hyperia's, but you know, again, there's not really much else to it than to me. It just looks like a load of track in a way, not like, you know, something I can actually really get invested in. So
I agree.
You mean the ride wasn't as good as the back row of the big one?
Please don't remind me, Andy. Please.
What happened to the back row of the big one? Can we get a quick? Is it suitable for?
It was pain.
Making off it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, pain.
I don't think they're. I know it's a Merlin thing they say all the time, but I seriously don't think they're finished with Hyperia with any theming, and I think it can get better. And if you watch, I mean, I'll show it now. We should be able to hear us over it because it's got no audio, this video. But they did show some of the behind the scenes. And they did show the station, but I've not got that bit. I didn't want to show everything here because I wanted people to be able to go and watch it on iPlayer. But yeah, he did ride it. I did think there was a lot of hang time. Like,
it's that bit that reminds
there
me
was
of Freddie Mercury. Sorry,
I don't know the jargon for it now. And I thought there was that half loop when it comes back down, and it. But I think the purpose is to hang, isn't it? On this,
yeah,
it's like a lot of moments of airtime in a way, which would be good.
I think it's about 16 seconds or something of airtime and all, and right?
Yeah, 14.8.
Some of the hang time didn't look like it would give you. I don't know how to word this. It didn't look like some of the hang time was giving you a lot of airtime. You'd suddenly kind of just. It's as if you're going to be hanging, like leaning against your restraint. You're not going to be having airtime. Like,
have you seen the video where they emptied the water dummies? So there's a video of when they finished for the day testing. They left the tops off the water dummies, let the water out. So as it's going round, you can see the forces involved, and the water comes out. You definitely get airtime. 100%.
Oh no, I say you get airtime, but it looks like you're going to get a lot of hang time where you're just hanging against the restraint, though.
Someone,
yeah, definitely. But,
during the one show, they did actually mention saying that it's like makes you feel like weightless.
Yeah, they're talking about airtime, but they don't know
Yeah.
that. They kind of,
But obviously, yeah.
whatever their publicist has said, say this on TV.
Hmm.
But I think it's going to be really good when I go on it. It's kind of a bit weird because I wouldn't want to go for opening day because how busy it is. But also, we're trying to make it really special because this year we haven't been to Thorpe Park for 10 years. So I'm going to get, I said I was going to get the shirt that says Hell Froze Over. And it's going to, I want it to be really kind of bigged up when I go rather than, yeah, let's just drop in on a Tuesday and see what's open.
I want to get one on the back saying, let's go to hell.
It's not that bad.
If you're not been there for 10 years and you go there, one thing I would say is you're going to feel very old. I feel like
a lot of the same stuff's there. Angry Birds was there when we last went, actually.
Yes.
I'm making a joke about that. But,
yes.
That's gone.
The 4D cinema.
Sibby. But
yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but we can talk about that on another vlog. It's more, I think if we did go down there, I'd want to do stealth first and then go on to.
That's what it reminded me of. That first drop, when it's going straight down,
Mm.
I did think this isn't that much higher than stealth, to be fair.
Mm.
But I think it's going to be really good. It'd be nice to see everyone's opinion in a year's time, because at the moment, and I'd be guilty of the same thing. I've done it before, and I might do it this if I went on it in like a few months, because it's new and because it's new to you and it's new to everyone.
Mm.
It will seem amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had rides like that before where I'm like, actually, this is really good, and then it's not over time, but it'll be interesting to see how good it is.
You're going to be going to the queue straight away fan benches on Saturday.
No, they won't be going in the queue straight away.
Oh, it won't. It won't be going in the queue straight away. Sorry. We're going to see if we can get walk-ons on the other rides.
Wait till it's warmed up
for lunchtime on Saturday. Yes, that's understandable. Yes.
Because I thought
that's a good way of going about it.
when I watched the, I'll ask the others if they thought the same. When I watched it, I thought that looks slow, but maybe the purpose is to be slow. Because I thought, it'd be nice when it warms up later on or when it rains, but is it going to be this as good going faster? That sounds weird because normally it's meant to be better going faster, but is it going to be as good going faster, or is it better to ride it slower, James? What do you think?
Well, I get, because the idea of it's meant to be like this kind of character getting wings, isn't it, and kind of flying off this island. So I guess it's maybe having that idea of like, you know, being kind of more like graceful in a way. So not necessarily having all of it be speed, some bits where the airtime is being a bit slower, and kind of having a bit more, in a way, kind of like of highs and lows as well, rather than having all of it be quick. Or yeah, it could just be that it is just warming up, I guess, through the testing maybe.
What do you think, Jones? Do you think it's going to be better that it's slower in places?
Sorry.
I think level would be better because I think you'd feel the airtime more on the hang time. If it was running quite fast, you'd probably kind of miss it all.
Then you'd probably get more G-forces and stuff like that if it's running a bit quicker. But I think when people say it's running slower and faster, it's only like a second per ride or something ridiculous, isn't it? So I don't think you can actually feel it that much. I know I'm saying that, but when we went to Icon at the weekend, it was definitely different later in the day than it was first thing. So yeah, I suppose.
I feel like at the minute, because no one's been on it, people are going to it not only for like the cred, as some people call it,
the tick,
but also the tick off the sheet, the uniqueness, probably possibly the highest one they're ever going to get as well. Then you never know, they might do another one. But also it's interesting because people go as well just for the overall thrill of it and the theme of it, but also what ranks it in their like top 10 or their top 5 coasters.
Or
so, like, where would it sit? Do you think?
For
as
Sibby,
a guest beforehand.
For Sibby, with the benefit of added numbers, it might be a zero coaster. We were having massive conversations about that at Flamingo Land.
I love Icon, and Icon's my number 2 coaster. So if it can get anywhere near Icon, which I'm pretty sure it will do, it could quite easily be my number 2.
Do you think?
I've not been on a massive number of coasters, but the ones I have been on, it could definitely be a number 2 coaster.
Do you think it would even be possible with the G-force it might pull, but putting a spinning seat on the back like Enzo?
No, I think it'd probably end up in people flying through the air.
That'd be insane.
James got quite a few spins on Enzo on Saturday, and that looked
yes.
That
was fun.
Not saying the tickets for Sunday and Monday are sold out for pass holders.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we-
How many of them will probably actually not turn up, do you reckon?
Is he a gold pass though? Because it's exclusion day Sunday, Monday.
Oh, for bank holiday, yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
maybe.
Knox might be platinum, but yeah, now you've mentioned it. I always find that weird because I always think with the bank holiday, surely you make the Saturday an exclusive day because it's. I think the Saturday was busier, but
Yeah, it's a bit annoying as well. It's the first weekend of the Old Towers event, the CBeebies event, and it's kind of half its exclusive, which is a bit pants.
Oh, Sibby's just put on here. No, 0 is Nemesis OG,
Yeah,
1 Nemesis Reborn, and 2 Icon.
I'll tell you what, that raises a good point.
Oh.
I'll ask people in the comments. Feel free to answer as well. But people who do top tens, I don't know. Well, I know the Joneses do top tens. I don't know if James does, but I'll ask the Joneses first. Have you got any in your top 10 that aren't around anymore, but are still in your top 10? Like he's mentioned Nemesis OG is a 0, right? And I'm thinking, are there any coasters that aren't around anymore that are in your top 10? Just out of curiosity.
The only one that's borderline 10 is a black hole for me, because that was one of the first coasters I went on, and it was awesome. But
Darcy's reaction.
I've never been on that, so that's not in my top 10.
But personally, I think you can only be in your top 10 if it's still around. I think that's how it works, isn't it?
I don't know what the rules are. I thought that was quite interesting. 'Cause surely, if it's a really good coaster, you go, yeah, that's in my top 10 still.
If it's in your top 10, you'd expect it to still be around there.
I
Like
mean,
Nemesis.
if Vampire should, it would still be my favourite, even though it doesn't exist.
But it wouldn't exist anymore, so that could be your favourite.
But it's my favourite of all time.
Yeah.
Wiggler, not at Gulliver's anymore.
Oh yeah, they got rid of it. What about Laura?
Wait a
Has she
minute.
got any
Did
defunct
we go on
rides in?
Wiggler at
We went. They got rid of the one at Warrington. We went on the one at
Valley?
Rother Valley. Yeah.
No, I don't think there is any in mine. There's some that should be going.
What about the one at Camelot?
Oh, Tower of Terror. I did like that. But no.
Bulwarks is still mine. Number 0 forever. Oh, Bulwarks is still.
What about James? Has
0
James got any
forever.
defunct? I imagine James would do actually if they're really good themed, but they're not around anymore.
Family Adventures, Miss Corkscrew. I must admit, I do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's like any which I've actually been on which have been defunct yet, but and also my top 10's kind of like a very loose one as well. I think it's just like it's almost like some of the ones that I'm more passionate about, but it doesn't actually go up to 10 in a way. It's probably like Nemesis Reborn, Smiler, 30, Wickerman. Even then, they probably like interchange depending on how I'm feeling on the day.
Yeah, it's interesting just to see how people categorize them. I think and
I'd
choose them.
have thought, right?
Yeah.
If they theme it out properly, when it's all done, with all this woman flying off an island, how she was born, I don't know, because she's the only one there. Let's get to that later. But would that theme have fit air better? Because you're actually flying on that.
Yeah, I question that you're flying more on Hyperia. You're higher.
I
your
suppose
hang
they're
time.
going through the whole airtime bit, aren't they?
Yeah.
It was hilarious because I thought the exact same thing, and I thought, why didn't they do that but have like the air sort of stuff going off, like restraints and things?
Well,
as
according to several,
like it sounds crazy.
according to several YouTube channels, before Alton Towers opened, Galactica was getting rethemed back to air. So that channels I don't watch anymore. But yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I would love it the day if it did turn back to air.
It might do one day. They don't really want to spend money on it.
But I know it's not everybody's
I
favourite.
think we've opened up a
but-
kettle of fish with this top 10. I don't have top 10s. I don't have creds because I got to a point where I'd be like, oh, wait, I went to Bagatelle in France on a school trip and I'd planned my like 150th or something. And I'd be like, oh, this is going to be my milestone one. Oh, wait, I've just remembered. I went to that small park in France. I've got 3 more. And I was just like, this isn't worth it. I don't need to. No one cares about the count except the person whose it is. And when you've met the 2 people that have got the most in the world and they're constantly going around the world competing with each other, you're like, you're never going to have that many. Like Richard Bannister, who's a great guy, by the way, but he's always, I can't remember the other guy's name. I think it's like Rob or George Greenway. And those 2 are just immense. They're just flying out to places and This is insane.
Hey everyone. I just, funnily enough, some people are saying that will Hyperia stay the tallest? You never know.
I hope not. I hope we go further.
Universal have already planned taller, I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
yeah, Universal, the height limit on the Universal part's ridiculous. I can't remember
Oh,
what
they've
it
got
is.
a good height limit, have they?
They've got like a planning permission limit to build to, and it's something like 500 feet or something like that. I'm sure it is.
Civvy Vlogs, it is like Pokemon. You've got to ride them all.
I think Universal will do better just because.
But the thing is, they've each got their own stats.
If
And
it-
it's amazing if you can remember off the top of your head what they are.
That's why we have top trumps.
Go on, sorry.
But
yeah.
I think if Universal get here and do the same as they do in America, they're just going to do what I said Merlin should have always done: house most of their coasters in like a sheet metal building. Then you can theme it better, and you can open it in the winter. I think that's what they're going to do.
Loops and lap bars. Do you know when you say you're not really like woohoo, like really hyped? Well, excuse the expression, not really hyped up that much for it. Is that both of you as well, or is it just one of you? Because I know there's two of you. I'm just double checking who we're talking to.
I just want to say
Hey,
to
Mr.
Fam
Parks
Adventures,
and 90s.
Gruffalo is my favourite ride at Chesterton now. And also, I'm going to ask James first. I said this, I think I've mentioned this to the Joneses before.
Got it.
With, I'm trying to remember what I was saying now because you were talking.
Sorry, it was both.
No, I've
the
mentioned
Loops
this to the
and lap bars.
Joneses before about, what was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say now. I'll remember in a
Basically,
sec.
you saying about nostalgia from the 90s.
Oh, no,
You
that
said
was
that
it.
You say Gruffalo's your favourite
No,
ride.
yeah. Do you think that Thorpe Park are actually doing better by taking other ideas? Like, because Fearless Valley, everyone knows, well, you've just copied Forbidden Valley. That's not very imaginative.
Not even
Hyperia, the first thing everyone thought of was Hyperion. But it's like that thing with, and I mentioned the film The Producers, which is also a play, where they found out if they make a really bad play, it gets talked about more and people go to see it because they can't believe everyone's saying how bad it is. So at that point, everyone's talking about Thorpe Park because they're ripping off everyone else. Is that better publicity than them just thinking of a good idea and going, oh yeah, we've made a coaster called Flight of the Phoenix or something like that? You know what I mean? Which is probably Phoenix would have been a good name for that, right?
I thought Phoenix was going to be.
But
like
James,
that.
do you think
Like
it's
Phoenix.
better that they actually? Do you think bad publicity works better for them in that sense, getting spread quicker?
I mean, possibly. I mean, things I haven't really heard as many people talking about that. I have heard a few people mention about that, and yeah, it does. Yeah, it's definitely like the name choice and all that stuff, and obviously like the whole thing being Galactica. It actually does remind me of something else, which I probably shouldn't say exactly what it was, but let's say one of the scare mazes there, I believe, was like meant to be quite a rip-off of another scare maze, specifically made to be like a direct rip-off. Essentially, they kind of asked for it to be that. I won't say specifically which one, but yeah, so it is interesting. It kind of seems to be a thing that they have been doing quite often in a way. So maybe, possibly.
Do you think? Do you know when you say like a rip off of this, rip off of that? I always think, please shut me down if need be, but I always think with the restraints with Hyperia, it does remind me a little bit of like Icon.
Actually, it's the same people that made
Is
it.
it the same
Yeah, it's
company,
Mac.
isn't it? Just please educate me on this.
Mac,
One, 'cause I don't know that much.
Mac are the best roller coaster
But it's
makers
just
in
like,
the world.
I feel like they've gone, okay, we're going to buy it, but we're going to make this look better. Do you know what I mean? Are they trying to compete with
No, Mac just make what they want.
Blackpool in a way?
Oh yeah, they're
Thought.
competing with Blackpool, but
That's what I mean.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's interesting.
I don't know if the
I don't want to upset
I don't know
anyone,
if
but
the-
I'm like, "Huh."
We've already upset people. Don't worry. Tonight. I don't know if the Joneses. I know I've asked you probably off air a lot of times before, but do you think the bad publicity works better to get around quicker?
But
It did with Sick.
It did with Sick. I was just going to say that with the testimonies on Sick. That definitely worked. Everybody's talking about
Oh, Intimate's not. I think Mac is better.
that.
I think
at
are
the
the
moment,
Black family going to be there? Actually, that's one thing I'd be jealous of if Roland won't go. He's too old now. But
Michael
I
Mack.
say that like I know him.
I know,
But I think
same
Michael
vice
Mack will
versa.
probably go, won't he?
Yeah, possibly.
You got to get a photo with Michael Mack. They're brilliant.
I need a telephoto zoom lens from the car park as we're queuing to get in. Take a photo. They are live streaming the open ceremony on YouTube though, which is quite cool.
Yeah, I was tempted to do some kind of review of that, but I probably won't.
As you say, Mac, is that like
That's
this
the
is
family.
where I feel like we need to do little snippets of videos with facts to help me a little bit as well.
Yeah,
And
if
other
you haven't
people
seen it,
that are learning.
if no one's seen it on my channel, I've got
'Cause
some
I
new
haven't
videos
clue.
with facts in, like theme parks and film and TV.
Is
and
it
stuff.
the one where it's did the Arthur and the Minimoys?
Yeah, they own Europa Park. Europa Park is what they
Mm.
own, and they normally put their ideas in there first as a kind of prototype, and then everyone else sees it and goes, yeah.
Because I really enjoyed watching that documentary about it, and I thought,
Well,
I'm sure that was.
I've got the
but...
Blu-ray of what they used to have in the 4D cinema.
Mac are a really old company as well, aren't they? They go back like 150 years or something. It's ridiculous. Obviously, not making roller coasters for that long, but
I think they've got a good attention to detail. I think as well when it comes to theming and things. But
yeah, the comfiest roller coasters I've ever been on. Icon is the comfiest roller coaster I've ever sat in. I could literally, if I was lapping it all day, I'd probably fall asleep. It's that comfy.
It might change. Yes.
Is that good for a ride? Is that a good advert for a ride though?
Yeah, because
fall asleep on it.
Icon's about the smoothness and the launches. I'm hoping Hyperia is similar in terms of it'll still be exciting, but it'll be basically there won't be a trip to A at the end of it like there's in a lot of rides in back.
Sibby, you know how much I want to do that.
Well, Sibby, if I did that in a couple of years and I actually met one of the Macs, like I've said this before, I understand why people like John Wardley, but to me, it's like the Mac family are like what people see John Wardley as.
Yeah.
The Mac family are like that to me. Like I'd be like, whoa, that's the Mac family.
I'd much.
That's Michael Mack or that's Roland Mack.
I'm more excited about Europa Park than I am Disneyland.
Roland Mack is the godfather of theme parks.
Yeah.
But getting back on track, what about how long is it worth? Are you going to queue for? Is there a number where you won't queue that long tomorrow, Andy?
I think we're going to see how many people are in the queue in front of us. Like, not that you'll be able to see, but I think like 2 hours is the limit because Darcy ain't going to stand there for more than that. So we got to be on the ball and get there fairly reasonably timed.
What time are you hoping to get there? Are they opening the gates earlier?
Well, the opening ceremony is at 9:30. I know that, so I'm assuming the gates will open before that. So I reckon the gates will be open about 9.
Welcome in, next outing. He's excited to ride tomorrow. These people here, the Joneses, you might see them tomorrow, next outing.
You guys are just all so lucky. But I just don't hope it's not too hot.
I don't want to go because it's busy. I'm like
sunburn.
I think I'm getting old because I kind of like I don't want to go when it's busy.
I don't really want to queue, but I want to be there. I want to be within the atmosphere of it all. Even if we don't get to ride, we have to go back a different day. We've got Merlin passes. We can go back whenever we want. But it's about the experience of kind of being there.
I think it might be worse on Saturday, you know.
But we've got Saturday tickets as well, so we could actually go back on Saturday.
Because I've heard that you have to get to a member of staff if you want to go in the shop without going on the ride. It's going to be that busy.
I'm not sure you can do that. I think they said that.
No, they said something about find someone at this location in a high vis jacket, and they'll try and get you like. But if they get too many people doing that, they'll probably not be able to do it.
Yeah. It feels like they've organised it quite well, and they've put quite a lot of thought.
Yeah, they've not sent you an email saying if you don't want to come tomorrow, don't. Like Alton Towers did on opening day. I can't believe they did that.
Loops and light bars. When it came to Nemesis being reopened, it sounds really strange, but I kind of felt like it was like the opening of Download Fest, and you saw like Iron Maiden there or something. It was nice, and there's people that you knew that all had one thing in common.
I think the problem
and it's that
was
togetherness.
everyone expected a ceremony for that.
Yeah,
and there wasn't. It was like we're just opening it.
Yeah.
So I think Thorpe doing this, like I put Thorpe down a lot because they are pretty rubbish sometimes, but there's some stuff that they actually go the extra mile for, and it could make Alton Towers look a bit. But I don't know how much they should compete with each other because they're owned by the same company. So
Loops and Light Bars, were you there at 2003 Download Festival?
The first one was.
That's all I've got to say.
Rachel's off.
It'd be really weird if we cross paths somehow.
I'm looking forward to going on Hyperia when I get the chance, but yeah, I think it'll be alright. I think it'll be good, but I think they need to add to it. But because of what it is, I don't know. I think I'm not being biased because I don't really like Thorpe Park to begin with, but
sorry,
it's like with Alton Towers, when they opened Nemesis and it kind of wasn't ready yet, and you had more stuff, it's like, you shouldn't have done this. Whereas with Hyperia, I'm like, because of what it is and how monumental it is, and it's something new and it's breaking records, I feel like, yeah, open it early without it finished, that's fine. And you can add to it later on as long as you add to it. Is that wrong? I don't know. I'll ask James first. I kind of feel like I'm giving them a chance, but I don't know. It feels different to me.
I think, I think with Nemesis Reborn, especially on opening day, I didn't actually go through the main queue line. I actually managed to go through the fast track one because I was randomly given a platinum fast track. But so I didn't really notice a lot of like the theming in the main queue line, which wasn't there. I feel like with Hyperia, the thing is though, it's not necessarily the lack of theming. It's like that, almost like not that there's necessarily bits missing. It's more just kind of like the overall package looks very bland. I think the best way to describe it is kind of like they've used the paint bucket tool and just like put some gold and white on. And I think like the trains kind of look the best, but that's not really saying much in a way. They still look quite like block colors. So I don't think it's necessarily a thing of like there's bits missing. It's more just kind of the overall thing think needs to be kind of like more elevated. And I think a little bit more story driven as well. I think that's possibly also a partial thing of the story not being very complex in a way.
It feels similar to 13 in that way, where 13 opened, it was kind of very vague about what the story was for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, would that give people like...
We won't be at download, will we?
In it and it might be changing. No, it won't be.
No, but we live very close to download, funnily enough.
I work very close near download. So, motorway fun, yay! But yeah, I have been looking though.
So what's...
the headline looks quite good.
Is Darcy looking forward to Hyperia? What are your thoughts, Darcy? We've not got much from you.
I want to go on it.
Hey.
Are you scared about going on it? Because you like the big one. You love the big one, don't you?
Yeah.
What do you feel about Hyperia exactly right now?
Good.
Yeah. You're going to be hands in the air, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm going to be shouting, keep all the restraints, Darcy, keep all of them, fall out. And she'll be like that. Woo!
No, I worked out we probably have to get up at 3:30 tomorrow to get there by 9.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is that what Google says?
No, that's what I think.
That's what Darcy says.
That's what matters.
All right. It's going to be something around that.
Fairground DeLorean lives 10 minutes from it. I'm
If
sure
I
Fairground
get stuck
DeLorean
in
lives near
traffic,
us.
I'm popping over for a cuppa. The traffic time's down.
Well, we were going to drive down tonight and stay in a hotel somewhere close, but I'm glad we didn't. Because apparently, the traffic on like the M6 this evening has been shocking.
My gosh.
So we'll still be driving now.
Actually, you're going to get an early night.
One thing I would say about the BBC coverage about Hyperia tonight was it was good how they showed Silkstone and Gardner. It was,
Yeah.
It was their enthusiasm came across in like leaps and bounds.
It did.
I was quite glad they were actually featured in it.
I actually DM'd Gardner saying like just quite proud of how far he's come with his channel, but also like how enthusiastic he comes across. It's just like pure joy. It's just pure joy, and it's amazing. Honestly, it gives me like good feels, that does, and I'm like, I love it when that happens to people.
He was only on the feature for like about 3 seconds, but all he did was laugh. It was just
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant, and the fact that he's just worked so hard. Like, yes, he kind of went behind some places to get like views and update people about it, but
He was allowed to go there.
he was recognised for it, and and he was allowed to go there, but he was recognised for it, and then it's obviously shown, and then the credit that they've given to him is asking to come and join along with going on.
So
The
Jones is going
well done.
tomorrow. Is it any of your milestone creds tomorrow to ride Hyperia?
No, I think I'm on. I think it might be May
I agree,
80.
Sibby.
I think I'm on 60 something.
No, you're on 71.
Oh yeah.
And we're on 80, I think.
She's
It's not,
catching up then.
but yeah, she's been on a few more than us recently, hasn't she? Yeah. You're getting there. Considering you're 11, I'm 40 something.
So they're retracking Colossus, but they really need to just change the cars on it because the legroom is not that Sick was much better. I was expecting Sick to be much more legroom, and it wasn't. But
I have
think-
quite big feet and I struggle to get my feet in. So you're a little bit bigger than me, but
I think if they change the cars to the same as Sick, I think they need to change the station because I think the air gates, the trains are longer. I think.
no,
not
that close.
I didn't know that was the thing.
I heard about it, but I don't think it's a true thing.
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say about Hyperia? Are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it, and I agree with Simi. It does look like a giant cigarette. And then I just thought, wouldn't it be funny if they did smoke effects at the end?
We've not been.
That looks like a cigarette.
We've not been in 10 years, but if you walk towards where Angry Birds used to be from Nemesis Inferno,
Yeah.
if I remember quite rightly, when we last went, there was a giant cigarette on the right-hand side. And I went, oh, that looks like a cigarette. And then I realised that that's the smoking area. I don't know if that's still there. But if that's still there, go check that out. That looked like Hyperia now. It was like in a planter, and it was a large, like, almost pole made of cement. But it was like, a bit of it was orange and the rest was white. And I was like, that looks like a cigarette. Oh, it's meant to.
Simi's been calling it Super King the Ride.
I thought we were calling it Embassy.
It cracks me up. All right. Apparently, loops and lap bars of International have put, apparently Intamin don't want anything to do with Colossus. Not sure if that's correct though.
I don't want anything to do with Colossus either.
What? People
No, I like it when you remind, like when you see videos on YouTube of like theme parks or anything, and people going, "This could be the case," and the whole video is based on a premise, and then they go, "We don't know, and there's no proof, but we've made this video. You've just spent all this time watching. Goodbye, thank you." That's what they always say.
There was the same company that's been retracking the big one that's supposedly retracking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tazica and somebody they call it. Yeah, they're an engineering company that make bathrooms, and they got commissioned to do retracking as the big one and something else. True story.
That probably explains the bumps.
Wow.
I was just about to say that.
That's one of those things where you go, "Hang on, I want to hear more about that." You should do a video on that channel.
If you have a look at the website, I can't remember how you spell it, but yeah, on the website it's got pictures of like stuff that's really not related to roller coasters. But effectively, they're an engineering company, so they can build anything, I suppose.
Paint it on the tiles.
Yeah, I think Hyperia will be. I don't know if there's much more we can say about Hyperia, really. I don't know. Is there anything anyone wants to add about Hyperia while we're here?
It's fun.
Theme it, please.
But it's meant to be themed like mud, like a mountain, like in the. They put a lot of effort into that. I guess you call it a cartoon.
A bit too much for what it actually is in theming.
No,
It almost reminded me of Valhalla in a way.
That video looks like somebody's gone on Paint 3D, got one of the persons and just calls it in.
Yeah,
does.
That's very similar to what James said.
I thought Blue Dabba when they have the headbanging blue guys. That kind of like 90s.
I feel like they almost don't
3D.
need a story for it for what it is. It's going to garner so much attention from
No,
like
I think the story
regulars.
was like lots of point in that. Like, where did it come from? Didn't really sell it to me.
Yeah, you see, with Swarm at Thorpe Park, that's heavily themed. I still don't find it as immersive as something like Forbidden Valley. I don't know what it was.
It's because you can see the rest of the park. That's the problem with Thorpe Park. From a lot of Thorpe Park, you can see everywhere else from where you are. You need to be.
From that point of view, I don't think Hyperia, from my point of view, needs to be that theme. For me, it's about the ride experience. It's not about the theming. I'm not going there to see theming. I'm going there to ride a decent roller coaster. Whereas when I go to Alton Towers, if they ever put a new ride in there or what they do with Nemesis, it's all about the entire package. It's not just about.
Oh, so you've got different expectations for the park.
Yeah, basically, each park, I'm slightly.
Will you put your hands in the air when you crest the first drop, Andy?
If I'm still conscious, yeah.
No, I bet you will be like this. Darcy, give me time.
Darcy, do you think your dad will be more scared than he was on the Starflyer?
Yes.
No.
This is taller than the Starflyer.
It's all right as long as he's on the stair side.
James will vouch for me. The second time we were out on the big one, my eyes were open all the way up that lift.
Is that true? You have to be on the stair side.
Yeah, I always go on the stair side. Yeah, 100%. I send Darcy on the other side. There's a 200-foot drop straight out the side of the coaster car.
I don't mind it. I'm just like, whoa, look at that view, look at that view. Like James was an icon.
Yeah.
17 years ago, I went on the big one on the front for the first time.
We did.
That was it.
James's very first ride was a front row ride on the big one last weekend.
Yeah.
And that was so good. And then the back one was just awful. But the front one was beautiful.
The back, normally they have the back few rows sandbag because maybe it's quite rough. But because it's quite busy on Saturday, they had all the rows open. And I must admit, the back row of the big one, my word, it wasn't pleasant at all. Like Grand National's bad. Grand National's really rough, but that was almost as bad as Grand National.
Do you think Hyperia runs the risk of being the same as the big one in the sense that that first drop will be good and the rest will just kind of not?
No, I think Hyperia is going to be completely different, certainly to anything I've ever ridden in terms of the elements. And I think that first drop coming back up into the first inversion, I think you're going to get a lot of G-force on that. I think there'll be a few people that probably get off that ride and feel really sick. Because it does look quite intense. Thorpe Park have released the first proper POV tonight as well.
Yeah, I thought that was a good idea actually.
But that gives you a really good idea what it's going to be like in a difficult tools.
That's quite a good one. If Bolton's Park Hyperia would have been fully themed.
So I don't know how much
that way.
You can't really theme the ride much because it's all the way in the sky, but which they should put that on a shirt. But if they sold in the shop. What was it? John, make it stop, or whatever he said. John, that's enough. John. I can't remember what it was now, James.
Yeah.
I might have my own shirt with it on. But
the one bit of Hyperia merch I'd actually buy would be that.
Well, the thing is, everyone and their dog owns the pin badge now after that debacle at Alton Towers. So
I might take our second Hyperia badge with us and swap it someday if we.
I don't know. Have we talked about everything we can talk about Hyperia?
Everything we've talked about Hyperia.
I'll probably put it on the community tab, but just out of interest, I will ask people on the community tab. So look out for that. If they prefer a 7:30 start on these shows, that'll be on the community tab.
I think we'll put it as a poll.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll put it in my stories and put it in your Love to Explore stories as well, just to be sure.
There's so many rides that are one trick ponies though, but if the trick's good, then I don't know. Hyperia looks like, with all the mud and stuff, it looks like you're riding it without it being finished in a way. But maybe that's the point. But I don't know. Does James want to add anything about Hyperia? Do you think it's going to be a Nemesis beta or?
Again, possibly in ride experience, but yeah, until it actually gets something immersive in some way, then I probably won't have too much. I mean, I think it's kind of like if this was like at something like Blackpool Pleasure Beach, I probably wouldn't bat an eyelid because I kind of expect that just to be ride experience, like with Icon or something like that, or Big One or any of the others. I think the fact that it is Thorpe Park, even though I think Thorpe Park isn't as good as Towers, but I think because it's part of Merlin, I still kind of expect that, and especially because it was John Burton who worked on it, it kind of makes it more surprising that it doesn't have as much kind of story or theming or immersion in a way. So yeah, I'll probably ride it at some point. Don't think it'll be this year, but at some point I will ride it.
I think one of the things I kind of learned fairly recently, I can't remember where I heard it, but somebody said that Hyperia signed off. It was the last sign off. What was his name? Nick Varney?
Nick Varney, yeah.
Oh, really?
I think it was signed off and kind of ordered. Obviously, John Burton had an input into the design, but I think in terms of the budget, that was already done, and that's why there's no theming. I think it was done on a shoestring, essentially.
Like
kind of, yeah. I think that's why it's ended up as it is, because I think it was kind of Nick Varney based.
I'm going to seem really stupid now I'm going to say this because I've not noticed, but I don't look into Thorpe Park stuff that often. Do you think Thorpe Park, I don't know what Bianca's title is. Is it Operational Manager of Alton Towers?
Divisional Director.
Of Alton Towers, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the Thorpe Park one, the one for Thorpe Park doesn't make themselves known publicly, do they?
don't think so.
Like Bianca's kind of put her face on stuff to kind of be a figurehead of stuff. Do you think Thorpe Park's one will go, hang on, I'll market my stuff? I kind of feel like, I don't know. Bianca's a nice enough person, but I feel like the person who did it before her didn't do that. And I feel like it's nice to have someone there as a face for the park. But like I said with the VIP event, I feel like she was trying to take the limelight from the two Johns almost. But I think,
a bit of control.
do you think Thorpe Park's divisional director will ever kind of make themselves an on-screen character, so to speak?
I guess it depends with how successful Hyperia is. If it's really bad, then they might just want to like hide in a corner and never show themselves again. So all depends.
I think again, it's a different sort of park. I don't think they need to do that. I think with Alton Towers, it's more of a family park. They need more of a face to it. If that makes sense.
Have you got any closing thoughts for Hyperia, Joneses?
I'm just excited to get on it. Hopefully.
Is Laura excited?
I'm still not on board with the lack of theming.
Yeah.
Park is better overall park ride-wise. Alton is the true theme park. Have to have different expectations, I suppose. True.
I know I've not been in 10 years,
got
but
good things about them, I think.
back when we used to go to them all the time when we lived down there, Thorpe Park was our least favourite of the 3 Merlin London parks, wasn't it?
So at the moment, my order of theme park is Towers, then Pleasure Beach, and then Thorpe. Well, actually, no, Crescent's probably both Thorpe.
Yeah, I put Cheston and Legoland above Thorpe normally, but we'll see.
My orders: Chessington, Alton Towers, Blackpool, Never Thorpe.
Never Thorpe.
It is just for teenagers, like
You'll be a teenager in 2
pushing
years.
people around and stuff.
You'll be doing that in a few years, yeah.
No, I won't.
You will.
No, I
You
won't.
will.
No, I won't.
You're already a little teenager.
I'm not.
You are.
No.
Is there anything you want to say about Hyperia?
There's nothing really that I want to say about Hyperia, but obviously I won't say any more about it until I actually get on the ride, and then I can actually mention how I feel about it. But obviously we'll have to figure out a date and go from there. Really, of going down there.
Yeah, we'll get down there this year.
I just can I mention about the photography challenge?
Yeah, mention it. Yeah, go crazy.
I was going to say there is the photography challenge. The prompt this month is wood. There's only like possibly a week to go, and then obviously we're rolling into next month. So if you just want to do a photo of anything to do with wood, I've already had like two people that I've tagged in as well in the stories, and I've also put in the highlights. It's just a little shout out for you guys, and I'll put go follow as well, just to bring people together for the love of photography and roller coasters and whatever else is going on my profile. So it's Stacey_L2E, and then obviously, like I said, if you put it on your stories and tag me in it, I'll tag you in it as well and put it in my highlights. How do you do that?
And if you want to see 5 theme parks in film and TV, I'll put that on the channel. Oh, what else I put on the channel? There was another one. Oh yeah, 5 things you should know about Flingerland. Also check out Dark Shadows channel. I'll put that in the description after we've finished.
Please sub to him.
And check out Coast with the Joneses because they're going to have some Hyperia content coming up.
Hopefully.
Yay!
Yeah,
I can't wait to see Andy come off it and go, I'm never running that again, like he did with Pterodactyl at Flamingoland.
I'll ride Starfire again at some point.
What I would do, it's not the whole thing. If you want me to post the whole thing, I can. It's not too hard to do, but oh yeah, 5 things at Flamingoland. That's already up, and the 5 theme parks in film and TV is already up. But there's 5 more coming soon because someone asked me to do another one, and there's loads. So. But the other 2 are already on the channel. But
you never know, you might get quizzed on them. So
what I might do before the outro, I might just play the. It's not all of it. It's just highlights of the Hyperia in case no one saw it at the start and no one watched it on BBC. But do you know the catchphrase?
Just thank you everyone for watching. If you just want to give us a like and share us among your friends, we are a bunch of nice people. We're lovely.
And go and check out these 2 channels as well. It'll be in the description.
2 channels as well. Obviously, whatever you do this weekend, be on Hyperia or not, or exploring other places, Never stop exploring. Never stop enjoying life. Keep on going. And have a fantastic weekend. So we'll see you.
Review.
Because for now,
we're gone.
Bye.
But now, hold on to your sofas because our first film tonight is about to take you on a wild ride.
Yes, ahead of the opening of the UK's tallest and fastest roller coaster tomorrow, Richie Anderson was at the front of the queue to test it out.
I remember going on my first roller coaster when I was 6 years old. I've always wanted to design one, and to be here today, it's a dream come true.
32-year-old John Burton is a theme park designer who has worked on some of the UK's top attractions. Prepared.
Where do you get the biggest adrenaline rush? There's so many elements that create different sensations. Flipping up over here, flipping back onto the top of the track, outward banks, hanging you upside down for around 4 seconds. Oh, look at me.
I want to go on again now.